Hi guys and welcome to Berke Creations Podcast. This is episode 7. My name is Sophie or Sophie and I live in Transylvania. And this is my knitting podcast, spiced up with all kind of crafty things. And I think already you have seen I am very much enjoying this time of year to delve into crafting Christmas ornaments, and I made a wreath and some garland from orange peels. If you enjoy watching these short videos about how I make my ornaments from sustainable and foraged materials, you're welcome to try them out. Today's episode I'm gonna talk about my Cathrine Parr, which is part of my Tudor Roses KAL. And then I have a shawl that it's almost finished, and a sweater which is, I think it's still a secret, so I'm not gonna talk about that much. And then I'd like to have your advice on what to cast on next. So yes, today is raining. It was snowing a few days ago and now it's gone and it's raining. But yeah, cozy and warm inside. Okay, so I'm making great progress on my Cathrine Parr, which is a pattern by Alice Starmore from her book of the Tudor Roses, which is a wonderful collection of patterns inspired from the Tudor women. And I think you already know what I'm talking about. I showed this book before in details, and this was a collaboration with virtualyarns.com, so Alice and Jade Starmore's website and business, and they graciously sent us the original yarn for this design. And these are the wonderful virtual yarns, Haberdine 3-ply and dicky weight yarn in a colorway Pebble Beach and Storm Petrol. And I started this knit along, this call, together with two other podcasters, Gabriella of Merryweather Knitting and Bella of 100 Acre Wool podcast. And I think they already finished their project. I fell behind because in the summer I almost did not knit at all. And then not only that, I just noticed when I get into problems and little troubles with my patterns and with the designs that I want to knit, and mostly it's not the designer's fault but my gauge. Then I kind of lose steam on it. So this is what happened with my Cathrine Parr, because I made several swatches in the beginning and I could not meet the recommended gauge. The recommended gauge is 27 stitches per 10 centimeters with DK weight yarn, and the recommended needles I think were 4 millimeters, and for me that was impossible. Of course I would go down with the needle sizes, but I went down until 3.25 millimeter needles, and even so I could not meet the gauge. And then I decided, okay, then I will not make my size, I mean size L, which would be my size, but I will make size M, just one smaller size, and just stay with this my gauge, which is quite different from the original. And I knitted 2 sleeves and I measured the gauge, and I was satisfied with it, and I measured the sleeves as well, and I thought I am nicely on track. And then I started making the back. I have a finished back now for this project. Here is it. So, but what happened with the back? Look at this. Have you ever seen something like this? Actually, I did. I did. If I haven't seen such thing happening in a knitwear, I would probably had to rip back. So what happened here? I knitted up until this point when I had this wonderful thought to measure my gauge again. And so I did. I measured my gauge and realized, oh my god, I am so much off, and this whole garment will turn out huge. And I was afraid that even so I would not have enough yarn for it or something like that. So I just bound off on each of the sides. On each sides I had to bind off like 8 stitches to kind of get back on track with the measurements and everything for this garment. So this is what I did. And where did I see this happening? It was, I think, on the Kia's podcast. Yes, on Kia's podcast she did something like this before, that if your knit is too big, maybe you can just save it and you don't have to rip back if you bind off your extra stitches. And when I am seaming it together, and this will be an extra layer of fabric inside, but I don't know, I will not cut into it, not yet, because if I still don't like this garment how it's turning out, then I will rip back all. So it's kind of a bummer, because this is a collaboration, and also the knit along, the deadline is end of the year, so I still have 2 weeks left for the front piece and the neckband, but that's totally manageable because I made this like in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. So, and yeah, I just don't know how it will look, because on a picture, yes, there is like a beautiful garment and it has its proportions, but I think this one with a bigger gauge, the proportion is gonna be much bigger. So this is the original garment. It's beautiful, and I will see how will mine look, because definitely I think that the color work is bigger now. At least I hope everything will be a little bit slightly bigger proportionally, and everything will work out. Now I just bound this shoulder part off, and I did not try that my sleeve fit right, but I'm actually anxious about it, if my sleeves will fit nicely. Have to try it again. So yeah, this happens when you don't meet gauge and you try to compensate for it, and I don't have so much experience about how to modify garments, and yeah, I'm trying to make it work with with my spare knowledge from here and there, and those kind of I don't know. Let me know what you think. Will this whole thing work out? Other than that, it's a really enjoyable knit, and really nice natural yarn, and this cabled patterning, it's just a breeze. I mean, I enjoyed it so much to get in a rhythm of it, mostly because I don't use a cable needle. I just mount my stitches on differently on the needle and knit it that way. So I'm like twisting it this way, and loving the bubbles. Yeah, so this is my Cathrine Parr. I am still liking the Pebble Beach color, but I think I should have gone a little bit more crazy and choose a more, I don't know, more vibrant color for the contrast, not this blue, but I am a sucker for blue. Yeah, I love blue. That's it. The next project that I'm gonna just mention a little bit, talking about is my shawl that you have seen in the last episode. And this was a shawl that I started after the numbers in the pattern Sunstruck by Aylor. And then I deviated completely from the pattern and made my own shape. And this is now the half finished shawl because it needs borders and the ends to be woven in. And I'm kind of almost messed it up with this because I need one more little stripe here to be exactly the same like this side. But I said, okay, now that I bound it off, I don't mind. So it's like one side is hanging longer and the other side is a little bit shorter, but I'm fine with that. Or if I'm not, yeah, just make my mind up in 1 minute, decide in 1 minute. But the original the first yarn that inspired me was this sock yarn, and I really liked this combination of colors, and this is what inspired me to choose my other colors. It's obvious, like what are the orange and the neon green and the white. Yeah, so those, and I think it has enough blue, so I'm not gonna add any more blue on the border or something. And I'm thinking to go with for the border with a beige, and I had a little bit of this speckled beige, but then I run out of it and I only have a simple one, and that's gonna be fine. Someone said like maybe, I don't know, for you guys is this beige? Because for me this is totally beige, like it's white but like a creamy or buttery white with really enough yellow in it, so enough of calling it beige. A really light beige. So, and yeah, I'm gonna go with a beige border for this shawl. Although I don't love the colors anymore, I don't know what's happening. So many projects of mine have this fate that I'm getting to making them with such a big enthusiasm, and by the middle of it I lose that kind of energy, and I've kind of questioned if this was a good choice, and if I will wear it or I will love it, because nowadays I'm thinking so much about that I need to love my knits. And first of all, I don't question that I love my knits because I made them and I put all this energy into them. But the reality is, when I notice that I'm not tending to pick them to wear, I only pick a few of them and the other ones are just waiting sadly in a corner. And then I realize, yeah, it's just maybe just a little bit of some detail, maybe the colors, or maybe just a little bit of shape or some mistake makes it not to be in use for me. Yeah, so that's sad. But then what I'm gonna do now, and I wanted to start this today, is with the remaining yarns. And I think I have enough here in this 100 gram ball fingering weight yarn. With the remaining yarn, I'm gonna start another one in a just such smaller scale. Like if you can see, here's the middle and maybe just this long. And I'm gonna start one for my son. So this way we're gonna have our matchy projects. Yeah, maybe I will find my knitting bingo and check on that, because if you guys remember, I had a matchy square in my knitting bingo. really have to check on my knitting bingo. Okay, stay tuned at the end for that. Yeah. So, another scarf, a quick little sweet scarf for my son for this winter. Okay, I just found my knitting bingo and almost a little bit sad because I can see I'm not gonna have any bingo this year, not gonna make it. Yeah, so here it is. Here it is. So these projects I finished, but although this is not completely finished, actually got too excited about coloring. And pants, I got knee-high sock, half sock finished. Yeah, so there's a book and Alice Starmore. Yeah, I will work on that to be finished until the end of the year. And then the matchy, but there, and there's shawl, yes. So, but the rest, yeah, I don't see that to be, realistic to finish. So this is it. What can I say? Not knitting as I used to knit before this whole summer. It's just shows, but I don't mind because I said also to the test knits that you can't force yourself to knit if you don't feel like to do it. So this is it. Actually, instead of knitting, and I talked about my life a little bit on the last Chat and Knit episode, and because we moved to Homestead and life changed completely, and it's such a different lifestyle, and I had to adapt myself, and mostly because we don't have electricity or grid and running water, but we have a generator and we have a well, and that's fine. So, and what I want to show it to you, this two wreaths that I made this year. I made a third one for the Christmas season, and that is on a separate short 10 minutes video, and you can enjoy that if you are curious. But my point is here being that this first wreath I made in spring, and this is like really, you can see like I was struggling to make it. I did not choose the right species of willow tree, and it's bumpy and grumpy. So, and yeah, it's just a humble beginning. And this one is what I made now this autumn, and for me these two wreaths put next to each other show like how much you can evolve in your skills, because for me moving on a homestead, it's all about skills. You need skills to be able to live such a remote life, and we would like to be self-sustainable as much as possible, but that takes time. So these two wreaths are like a really good example how much skills I acquired in half a year. And in those period I did not knit as much as usually, so but I don't mind because I did some other variation of things, so other stuff, and be excited about, because I'm gonna show them to you in the next coming weeks. Yeah, so and this is it. And the last project that I show a little bit, maybe it's the Angora project that I was working on my sit and knit. I'm not gonna show it completely because I'm not sure it's released, but it happened the same thing. Started with such enthusiasm holding together this grey fingering weight yarn with the white Angora, and loved the marling, and now I don't like the marling of it. Feels like, I don't know, and I don't like it. And now I started to cheat on the sleeves and used just the drops, which is in itself is the same way than those before together, and in itself is marled. with gray. So it's, I don't know, because I don't love this project and I feel like compelled to finish it because it's a test knit. I'm kind of messed it up more. Kind of, I don't know. I also realized that there is one project that I really, really want to make, and that was like on my queue for a long time. And this Angora and the fingering weight yarn would be so awesome together for this colorwork project, and that is the Jubiläumgänser. I insert a picture here, which is actually a free pattern. So that's the thing that when I suddenly remembered that this yarn would have been so much more better for that project, then I kind of start to see the failure in this one, in this project. Anyway, it has a nice neckband with a double folded, and I loved the finish of it for the folding, because I just knitted that by picking up and binding up. So yeah, that's a great detail about this one, but I will talk about more in detail in the next episode when it's published. So, and yeah, the thing is, I'm already thinking about what I'm gonna knit next year, and I think that I will make my make 9 photo to if I make 9 projects next year, that's fine. I used to make 19 in a year, 19 garments, but I don't want to make so much anymore because I'm not even wearing half of them. So if I make 9 projects, which I love, that's much greater. So, and the Jubiläumgänser, it's gonna be in there for sure. And other than that, I wanted to ask you for some recommendations of projects, because I got from a lovely viewer from Jocelyn. I hope I spelled this name correctly. I made a yarn swap and she sent me my first speckled yarns ever. I did not have speckled yarns before, and these are so beautiful. They are from Knit Crate. If I know this right, Knit Crate is like a subscription that you get in the mail every month, 2 skeins of yarn. And this one is merino tencel and it's sport weight, 350 yards, 320 meters. So, and 2 by 1 skein, so by 100 grams. So I don't know, I really want to make something with this. Maybe if I look at my knitting bingo, something from Jessie May Designs. I don't know. So please leave me suggestions. I would love to make shawl. I would love to make maybe a small top. So just so precious to have such a lovely speckled yarn with blue speckles, because blue is my favorite color, blue and purple. So yes, thank you, my friend, for sending me these. Yeah, she also sent me some how do you call them, seashells, and I love those. Really want to make wind chime with seashells, so stay tuned, because every time I'm gonna craft something, I think I'm gonna film it. I'm just so much into the groove of it to craft little different things. So, and this is how the channel is, Berke Creations. So for my creations, I'm gonna take you along. And beside working on this project until the end of the year, hopefully I will be done with them until then, I'm also I'm gonna start now some smaller projects, and I really want to make for our family like a quick bulky knit of stockings, so like Christmas stockings that you hang up. It's not very traditional and common here in Transylvania to use them, but nowadays, like, we are like taking so much from other cultures, so they becoming popular. So, but I'm gonna have them by the, I hopefully ready for me, my partner, and our son, the little one, and I wanted them be ready on until the 24th. As you see, and I mentioned this last year too, I don't have a Christmas tree yet. It's for us, the angel brings the Christmas tree with the ornaments and the presents exactly on Christmas Eve. So on the 9th of the 24th. And for me, that was always, as a kid, such a lovely memory to spend a day at my grandma's, and in the night in a snowfall to walk home and have this beautiful surprise and this glorious tree. So, and yeah, I think we're gonna stick to that tradition, although this year we want to actually forage our tree, but we're not gonna cut it down, but and now it's like really mild weather, so to dig it up and have it in a bucket or something, in a big bucket, yeah, and keep it that way inside, and then later in the spring to plant it in a garden. So I think that is in the spirit of the sustainable December and DIY December. I think this is a good solution. Yeah, I always felt sorry for the trees, just even they give a wonderful smell, just getting dry in a house. So, and I started to make these ornaments myself. If you haven't seen about making a garland from orange peels, I have all these little stars from orange peels, and they're gonna go on a tree too. I'm gonna have more until the Christmas Eve, and yeah, I really enjoy making them. So go and watch that video how I made those, how I make this stars from orange peels. And because we love stars with my son, a couple of years ago when I started knitting, yeah, 3 years ago, I knitted so many of these stars. As the pattern is a free pattern on Ravelry, Stjärna. I think maybe it's a Swedish or Norwegian designer, and it's in English too. And it's like the most simple and loveliest star pattern, because you see at the end you end up with no seam, has this lovely ridge, and after you fill it up you can close it, so you don't even have to sew with needles. So, and it's one of my favorite patterns, and I want to make this year more of it, because I made that time a lovely garland, and we used to have a blue wall. Get a picture. So we used to have a blue wall, and this garland with the stars looked really lovely. I really enjoyed it, but every time I used this stars, like if I did not have for someone like a special present or something, or we just went visiting some friends or getting together, and it was a Christmas time, so I would just take one star off and add a little hanging thing, and I would gift them that star, so I only have this one star left. So, and I want to get to it to make more stars, and I think I will have that presented also in the DIY December videos. So, but my idea is to make the stars like very thin needles, start with the thin needles with fingering weight yarn, only simple like sock yarn, and then I think it's gonna be like a smaller star than this, and then go up with needle size and the weights of the yarn, because at the end, I don't know how much I'm gonna make now, but I will have to start now. So in the end, I want to reach to have like I have some bulky blue yarns, and I want to have like a big pillow, like this same pattern on a big pillow star. I actually tried to adjust the numbers on this pattern, and that worked out too. I think you start with 109 stitches, maybe perhaps like the around here, and but if you change the proportions, if you make your adjustments, your calculation, then you can cast on more or less stitches and end up with a smaller or bigger star. So yes, so stay tuned for that episode on DIY December. More to come. And if you enjoyed them, please let me know. So the last thing I'm gonna talk about is my Destashing project. And I mentioned this in my chat and knit episode, because as I said, we don't have electricity here, and we really want to build a solar system up. We are still missing some elements for that to be more sustainable and to have a more comfortable life. Yeah, it was kind of challenging in the summer without a fridge, and preparing everyday meal, and to make all to work out, and not to make too much so that we don't have to throw out. Or okay, actually nothing gets wasted on our homestead, because if you have food that you cannot eat, your dogs are still happy for it. So, and in this I decided in the spirit of this to meet our goal and help out, and just have the financial capacity to reach this. I am destashing some of my most successful projects, because I'm not wearing them, and one lovely viewer already bought one, and thank you so much, Diana. So happy for this. She wanted this Oriana wrap. The original pattern, the pattern is by Amba O'Brien, and I test knitted this for her. Now I'm show this to you, and I'm gonna start blocking it and send it away for her. So I'm so glad and so grateful for this community that these things are possible. And then I have 2 more projects that I'm destashing, 2 more lovely sweaters, and one of them is this one. Is the Puch sweater by Hanna Maciejewska. Yes, and this was also test knit for her. I'm using I used lace weight kit silk mohair held together with lace weight malabrigo in this pink colorway, frosty pink or something, and it has this beautiful yoke with intricate technique where you don't go together anymore with those 2 yarns, but you go separately and create this double layer. And then this lovely butterfly lace pattern. So, and I really love how this turned out, but the size, I think it's too small for me now. Yeah, and it has some lovely romantic bell shaped sleeves. So I would be so glad if someone who appreciates the delicateness of this, the delicate nature of this sweater, and who can take care of it and would love to wear it, would contact me. Yeah, so I'm more than happy to destash these projects, and I think in the future I will destash more, because our space here is not like huge, and I just feel like I need to only have things that I'm using. So things I'm not using don't have space in my life anymore. And the last piece is a Mohair Tunic by Lyudmilla. Aksenik is the, yeah, this was also a test knit, and this is only Mohair, a single strand, yeah, knitted in a single strand Mohair with some beads. And it was the first time for me that I used beads, and it has this great pattern on the back, the lace in the back. And this one is too big. It's like, it's equivalent with a size XL, or maybe even a little bit bigger. So, but if you're interested, just let me know and we can talk about it and figure something out. So this is also very romantic and delicate piece. Yeah. So these are my stuff for this week that I wanted to share with you. I'm waiting for the recommendation what to knit with my speckled yarn. And also, other than that, I would really want to make a question and answer video, a question and answer episode. So I did not celebrate the 1 year anniversary of this podcast. That was the last day of October. And that was when I uploaded my first episode. And I did not celebrate that because I wasn't able to come back. But now, in a celebration of this, and because you guys getting to know me, and I see you have questions, so many questions also about the homestead and or lifestyle here, so you can keep them coming, keep the questions coming. I already noted those that asked me something, so I will I will note them and I will add them, and I will make an episode soonish about answering all your questions. So yeah, you are welcome to ask anything and I will decide what I answer. Yeah, and other than that, I wish you a peaceful, lovely weekend and December. Please enjoy some of our scenery here and get ready for Christmas. Bye. By the way, I got this lovely amaryllis for my birthday in November, in the beginning of November, and it started to bloom like 2 weeks ago. And this is the second stalk with the blooms, and it's huge and it's wonderful. It has 5 big flowers like this. It's just like, I cannot recommend amaryllis. I thought they are old-fashioned, but I just got one bulb and I'm so much in love with it. I filled up the whole garden with bulbs, so I'm ready for the surprise in spring. But up until then, let's enjoy December. So bye again.